Hi, everyone. I'm Simone Simpson from Wondering Yoga Cafe Entertainment, and I want to welcome you to our 30-day, one meal a day challenge. Today is day 7. Day 7, how are you feeling? Have you found your window, the best time of day for you to eat? Remember, there's advantages to eating when the sun is out, but some people don't prefer that. When I first started, I was having my meal and the sun was not out. I switched just because it worked better with my schedule, and I was feeling I was feeling full at night. That's right. When I was meditating, I was just stuffed actually. So it was a little too close to bedtime. And I just find that eating at 1 works better for me, but find the window that works best for you. There are, again, advantages to eating when the sun's out. The sun helps digest the food. So you can take advantage of that if you so choose. And so today, day 7, our quote for today is, if something is difficult, it's not that you can't do it. It's that you're not doing it. And can't and not are two different things. So remember that. And I thought of that because I did what I call a coaching session with a regional director at my company. And there was a topic that I had that I wanted to discuss. There were some numbers that were skewed, and they weren't skewed in my favor because I wasn't getting certain accounts for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. And I was reporting it, nothing was happening, but I'm super busy while I'm working. So I just didn't take the time to continue reporting it. But, and so it ended up causing numbers, not today, but numbers last week, the end of last week, were skewed to, and they were lower on my end. So I was focusing on that, like, well, this isn't fair. These numbers are low on my end and they shouldn't be. The only reason they're low is because I wasn't getting these certain accounts and I reported it. I emailed a couple of people, messaged some people. Everyone's like, oh, nothing's wrong, but something is wrong. So anyway, but that's beside the point. So then I was focusing initially on, well, I can get to the right person and they'll just adjust my numbers because I wasn't getting accounts. So that's the reason. And then I thought, well, why don't I just focus on increasing that number from where it is right now? Let's focus on increasing it, getting it to where I want it to be by the end of January. So basically I gave myself 5 days. And so I met with the regional director. My goal was to come away from that meeting with 6 strategies that I could use to be more in alignment with the direction my company's taking. It's a technologies firm, so things change every day, literally. When I first started there as a director, we'd get emails from tech teams every time they updated things. Finally, now it happens so often, they don't even tell us. It just happens. You turn on your computer, things are just different. You just figure it out. So that's how fast the company changes, growing. We're like Google, we're like Apple, on the cutting edge of technology. So when all of this stuff happened in the world, we just kept going. I mean, we were just ready for it, and we're in high demand, have been through all of this. So nothing slowed down for me. Nothing changed during all of this. So I was just saying to myself, I said, well, I've spent, and I actually tallied it up, and I was like, well, letting the regional director know. And I thought of it even before I went, that I spent $26,000 just last year on personal development. So obviously, me staying relevant is very important to me. Like, I don't stay stuck in yesterday or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I just don't do that. In order to remain relevant, you could have to continuously update your computer, learn new technologies, learn new apps. It's just a part of being relevant in society. We are living in the technological age now. And so, look, I agree now, technological age now. And what that means is that we're living differently than we were in the industrial age. And a lot of companies and people are still functioning that way. Nothing's wrong with that. However, to remain relevant, you're really needing to make that jump. And so I wanted him to first understand, hey, I'm not someone who's stuck back there. And I was like, well, it's not about that. But I did mention how much I spent. And all of a sudden he was intrigued. He was like, can I just ask you what you did? And I wasn't super open about it because I don't want to give people at work too much of an insight as far as who I am. It's just not something that I choose to do. I go to work enjoy my colleagues, love what I do, love talking to clients, but I'm not there to pour out my hearts and soul on what's so personal. And so I just basically told him, and I gave an overview. General was like, it's about how I feel, making sure, first of all, I feel good. And then from that place, looking at different characteristics of myself and improving upon those, which basically is it. I just didn't give direct information of what I've been doing, but yeah. So it ended up being a really good meeting. I ended up with 7 items. I think I mentioned that yesterday. So that was excellent. So I've been incorporating that. One of the things that I had decided first off, and I don't even think I included that in, was I needed to start earlier. I needed to start at 6 a.m. I'm in Vegas now. I'm still in Vegas on my Vegas house. I'm remodeling here. So I'm still in Vegas from my holiday trip. And so I've been starting work at 8 o'clock. Well, 8 a.m. in Vegas, it's 11 on the East Coast. So they're already getting ready for lunch, especially those who get up at 4 and work out and then meditate and do their thing before work. Like 11 o'clock, that's, that they've already been up for what, 7 hours. So that's a long time. And I was just saying hello at that point. So I was like, the first thing I have to do is start working at 6 a.m. And I was thinking, oh, it's going to be dark outside, but that's fine. So I did that. I made that change. So I didn't include that, but that was a big one. I said it usually takes a couple hours just to kind of get in the swing of things, kind of wake up, and not literally waking up. I mentioned yesterday, I get up at 4, but the point where I'm talking and having these active conversations, that doesn't happen until I start work. And so it takes a couple of hours to get really in the swing of that to where you're awake. And so this way, when I talk to my New York clients at 6 a.m. my time, it's 9 their time. I've been up for 2 hours. They've been up, maybe for 3 hours. So we're on the same, we're together at that point. So that's what I did. But that's the, so when I was in the meeting with him, he was saying, yeah, well, people have been here for a while with the company, and it's a startup. So I've been there 6 years. So that's a long time for a startup. So it's like people have been here for a while are having trouble. They're struggling with this, is what he said. And that's when I came up with that quote. I'm like, it's not that they can't do it, it's that they're not, and I basically was referring to myself, like, it's not that I can't do something, they're not. And I said, naturally, you and I haven't had meetings. We don't meet because I do really well. So I didn't tell him that, but he knows that, that we don't meet every week. You're scheduled to have a meeting every week. I haven't had a meeting with him in probably 6 months. And I said, so when the company's changing and when I'm re-strategizing, updating my strategy, if I don't have inside information on what's going on, my strategy can only take me so far. And the training that the company does is subpar. And I've mentioned it to trainers over a few times, and then I just stopped and I said, well, I can actually, promote myself to trainer and fix it, or I can just figure out how to get the information. But anyway, I got the information that I needed, came out with 7 strategies, and have incorporated 2. And it has had such an impact on how well I'm doing at work. Like, I'm just continuously, it's just all day long, just really like selling. It's really good. It's excellent. I'm just connecting with clients and sharing, providing, giving them what they need. It's been really good. It's been excellent. So I'm enjoying that. So just wanting to tell you that that's where the today's quote came from. That it's not that you can't do it, it's that you're not doing it. And when you look at it that way, you're kind of putting a mirror in front of yourself, and instead of blaming someone else, which is what I was starting to do, you kind of do this. And when it's up to you, you don't have the luxury of blaming someone else, but you also have the luxury of changing it. So that's what I did. And it's just like within it didn't even take 2 hours of me incorporating just 2 of the 7 strategies for it. I was just all day long, just boom, boom, boom. That's one of the things I really like about being in sales. You can tell how your vibration is, how you're doing. It's immediate. It doesn't take long at all. I've had other careers, and you don't have as much of a gauge on how you are feeling as you do when you're in sales. It's a direct correlation. If you're feeling good, your sales are up. If you're not feeling good, and that's why so many people in sales work on personal development, the ones who are at the top of their game, because you start to figure out, like, you've got to get me right. And that's your integrity. That's your, any of those, there's a salespeople are a certain way. No, people in all fields are that way. I taught yoga and there were other yoga teachers. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, so it's not specific to a field. So we don't have to label certain people, go, oh, the politicians are that way. No, so are the yoga teachers. Like they're people in all fields who are wonderful and good, and people in all fields who are, you know, a little spicy. I'll just call it spicy. So yeah. So that was today. Today's been good. Yesterday's been good. It's just been really nice that I changed that strategy. And what I really felt is that my first action step was getting up at or starting work at 6. That was a huge message to the universe that this is serious. This isn't something that I'm casually doing. I'm not just writing down things and saying, okay, I'll try to work on one. Let me remember. It's like, I've already started. I'm already getting up at this time. I'm already starting work at this time. So yeah, so that's been good. And so our homework today is day 7. So today's the last day to get your weight in for week 1. It's really important. This is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself while following 1 meal a day. And some of you might be like me. I just have a plan to just do this forever. It just, my body feels so good. I just feel like I'll do it forever. So I have to cough. So I'm getting ready to turn this off. Can't find it. There we go. So yeah, so today's the last day. So remember, you want to weigh yourself. You want to take 4 pictures, front, back, left, and right side, and 4 measurements. Your waist, let's do hips, waist, your nipple line, and you can do 1 more measurement someplace else. Might end up being 2 if you do your upper arms or your calves. Some people like to do their neck. So 4 measurements. So remembering to do that. And you can do a drive-by weigh-in. I don't want you to weigh and feel badly. That happened to me on so many plans that I had done in the past, where I would get that initial weight and then I'd feel bad and I'd think, wow. And then it would almost derail my inspiration for sticking to the plan. If you think that might happen, if you get a scale, connect it to an app, you can get on the scale, open up the app, weigh, it will log everything. You don't have to look at the number. Just log it. That's why it's taking me so long to weigh, because my app won't open on my phone and I can't open it on another device until I close it on my phone. So there's a little issue right there. But yeah, you can do that, do a drive-by weigh-in, just so that you have those numbers, so that at the end of the 30 days, you can look and go, oh my goodness, look what I've done. I mean, I can really tell my waist. My yoga shorts, my Bikram shorts that I wear while I work, they're not super tight anymore. I'm like, wow, I have a lot of room here. I'm like, what's going on? So that's nice. So I wanted to talk about that. And then our tip for the day, remember, we get tips and tricks every day. Our tip for today is intermittent fasting increases your metabolism. So many of us have done calorie restriction diets, and we know those decrease your metabolism. They're just tough. You're reducing the calories and upping the exercise, and you're hungry every day, and it's difficult. Intermittent fasting increases your metabolism. So after fasting, they've measured the energy that your body spends can increase by 12% after you've done your fast. You know, we fast every day on intermittent fasting. So when we say after fasting, that's what we mean. So that means that fasting is kind of a form of metabolic exercise. So that's really good. So it increases your metabolism, intermittent fasting. So just one more good thing we're doing. It's a win-win for you. And a trick, I'm putting it in today as a solid trick, is exercise before you eat. So, and you might have to figure out how to work that in. Some of you might be able to do it in the mornings. Some of you might be able to do it at lunchtime before you eat, before your eating window. But if you can figure out if you can get that into your schedule where you are exercising before you eat, because the exercise tends to trigger hunger. And so that way you exercise and then you eat. So that is our trick for today. And oh, I wanted to talk to you about what I ate. Oh my goodness, it was delicious. So I had some beans and I've got some tea right now. It's peach and chamomile, 2 different tea bags, and so good. So this is what I had today. It was really good. And we're going to talk tomorrow about sugar. And I'm going to tell you why. This is what I had: kidney bean patties. So basically like a like a veggie burger made with kidney beans, and then potatoes and broccoli, which is really good. I used to make that all the time in undergrad. That was like my go-to meal. I made that all the time. So that's what came with it. Now, a lot of things come in the kit that I don't add, usually the dairy. And when I first opened this one, I was really surprised to find, guess what this is? Any guesses? You see? Sugar. It's sugar. This much sugar was supposed to go in it. That looks to me to be about 1/4 of a cup. I can't even imagine. I want to show you that because this, I don't know if this would have even been an issue for me before I did the Wild Fit plan from the Snapback Body Wild website. This came in it, this much sugar. Can you imagine what that would do to your insulin, to how hungry you're feeling, to bringing you back to being hungry after this spikes your insulin as much as it would actual sugar? So I just didn't put it in. It also came with apple cider vinegar. So I'm assuming that obviously the sugar was to null out this flavor, but to me, that's not worth it. I know apple cider vinegar has a lot of healing properties, but a lot of people take 2 tablespoons of this by itself every day. So if I just have to have that, I can, but that's a lot. And I was out with friends over the weekend, and I ordered Brussels sprouts, and there was sugar on the Brussels sprouts, like maple sugar. And one of my friends, it was just really, there's so much sugar and so much, people are getting a lot of sugar in the standard American diet. And they're almost to a point where their palates have changed, and mine changed when I did the Wild Fit plan. So I would love again to have you there. It's a 90-day program. Go to the website, snapbackbodywild.com. There is a link below. We have a 90-day challenge coming up. I would love to have you on the challenge. You get a 50% discount for being a part of this challenge. You get a 50% discount for the challenge on the Snap Back Body Wild website. So link below. Join us. I would love to have you there. It is a transformational health program. That's why the sugar was just so, it was shocking to me. But I do remember years ago when I was teaching healthy living classes, I would make homemade spaghetti sauce and I would put sugar in it. And I was like, well, you have to, because tomatoes in it and it's acidic. And now I just can't even imagine that. So it does a lot of positive changes, and it's a transformational. So it just permanently changes the way you think about food. And my program ended, my 90-day challenge that I took part in ended about 1 year and 2 months ago. So all the other programs I've done, I'm not still changed from any of them. So yeah, this is a good one. This is definitely a good one, but that is what I wanted to share with you today. Meal was delicious. So tomorrow I have a Southwest mushroom black bean salad, and I have another meal in this box as well. It was like a spaghetti squash, some yumminess. It's like spaghetti, but made with spaghetti squash, which I actually like better. There was a linguine in a box last week, and I thought it was made with squash, but it was actually made with like pasta. And so I ended up throwing most of it away. I just don't eat that. I'm not really into that. It's not what I need. It's the carbs. It's super sweet. So that's what I had today. And I'll also put a link below. If some of you are wanting to order some of these meal boxes, I'll put a link below, and you can do what I do. Like, the meals are delicious. I love the variety, and everything is measured. So basically when I come down for lunch, I take 1.5 hours for lunch. It takes maybe about a half hour to prep the meal. about a half hour for it to cook. And then that's like on a long day. Like today, I was sitting down ready to eat, and it was exactly 1 hour from the time I started prepping. But I really like it for that. Now, when the challenge starts, and I'm going to actually go through the challenge with everyone. So not only am I your coach in training at this point, but I'm also going through the challenge with you. So I'll see what I decide to do with my meal kit when the challenge starts, because there will become a time when this may not be optimal. But for now, I really enjoy it. And I have 4 that come, 4 different meals a week, and then 3 meals a week I can cook at home or I can order. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. That's how I'm doing. I have a lot of energy today, I feel good. I feel good. Yeah, I feel really good. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow on day 8. This is our first week, 1 week on 1 meal a day. Congratulate yourself. You should have an extra glass of water and put it in a champagne glass and just cheers that. We're going to do that tomorrow because we will have officially finished a first week. So we'll do that tomorrow. So tomorrow, come with a champagne glass of water. We're going to cheers our first week. And I will cheers with my chamomile and peach tea, and see you tomorrow. I'm Simone Simpson from Wondering Yoga Cafe Entertainment, and thank you so much for joining us on our 1 meal a day, 30-day challenge, today being day 7. And remember our quote that when something is difficult, it's not that you can't do it, it's that you're not doing it. Can't and not are very different. You can do it. Yeah, you can. See you tomorrow.